Hello and welcome to A Little Less Lisa, where today we are talking about why I switched telehealth companies, or maybe I should say why I switched to the telehealth company that I am currently using. If you are new here, my name is Lisa and I am on a weight loss journey. I am currently taking compounded tirzepatide. I am on 5 milligrams. I've been on 5 milligrams since about week 7, 6, 7, something like that, and I just finished my 14th week. So if you're interested in more details about my journey and my weight loss and how it's been going, I'll have the playlist linked up over there and you can certainly check those out. But I have been promising people that I would talk about why I changed to this particular telehealth company, or just why I kind of changed in general, and talk about that whole process and what happened, and let me share my story. So I started my journey on March 28th. I think that's the first day. And I'm gonna be super honest with you guys. I was a little too eager to get started, and therefore did not do the research and the due diligence that I should have done, and that I did end up doing, after probably 8 to 10 weeks or so. So, as many of you may know, I was really motivated by Winnie B. LV, and that she had started on these GLP-1 medications. And I didn't know at the time that there was anything other than just the name brand drugs, and I didn't know that there were other places that you could acquire them. Now, what I didn't realize at the time was that Winnie was actually taking the name brand Ozempic. So she had gotten it and continues to get her medication through, I think it's kind of like a sports medicine type establishment in her area. And so because I heard that, I started kind of Googling and researching, in the New York area, found some articles and decided that I would be better off going with some place that had like a brick and mortar presence, okay, that it wasn't just a telehealth. Because as I started Googling things, immediately some of these bigger telehealth companies did come up in the search, right? I mean, they, I'm sure do a good job of search engine optimization and, get their names up there pretty high up in the search. But I think because of the way Winnie was doing it, and then based on some of the things that I read as I was doing some initial, very brief and cursory research, I thought, oh, well, I should probably pick something that, God forbid I have a problem, I could, go knock on their door, for the lack of a better word, if I needed to talk to somebody or if I had an issue. It was my own fault. Like I said, I didn't do enough research. And so I went with this sort of med spa-y kind of place here in New York City. Like I said, they do have a brick and mortar location. Now, I didn't go to that brick and mortar location. All I had to do, once again, was I think I called their phone number. I spoke to a woman. She sent me, I think, a form to fill out. I submitted that. That evening, I had, I'm not joking, probably a less than 5-minute conversation with a physician, or so I was told. And then they prescribed the medication for me. Now, the one probably smart thing I did do in this beginning process was I did ask about compounding pharmacies, because I had read enough to know about the whole issue with some pharmacies that are like true compounding pharmacies, that they are using like these salt versions, which are not the genuine peptides and can be really dangerous and or not work at all. So I did ask the physician that question, or the doctor that I spoke with on the phone, where the medication was going to come from, and he told me that it comes from this pharmacy called Hallandale, which if you're familiar with telehealth companies, you'll know that Hallandale is probably one of the biggest compounding pharmacies in the country, at least as it relates to GLP-1 medications. Now, I mean, if you go to their website, you can tell they're huge. I mean, they clearly do more than just GLP-1 medications, but they are one of the biggest providers, I think. They're based in Florida and, you know, have a very good reputation based on the research, the small amount of research that I did in the beginning. I realized that after starting to watch some YouTube videos and getting on the Facebook groups, I discovered, oh, these telehealth companies that are out there that, you know, popped up as the first couple things in my Google search initially, they're like really reputable and they know what they're doing. And I realized that I just needed more from the provider that I was using. And then I had already been watching Mindy Peterson's channel, and I just really connected with Mindy as a person. I feel like she is incredibly genuine, incredibly credible. And one day, Mindy had a video about Friday's Health, and she explained how she became acquainted with Friday's Health. Now, Mindy has a much bigger channel than I do, and so I'm sure she's had multiple telehealth companies reach out to her and want to partner with her and, you know, do some sort of collaboration, etc. And it said a lot to me that Mindy chose Friday's Health as the telehealth partner that she wanted to collaborate with. And she has a very detailed video, which I will certainly link below in the description box, of, you know, what process she went through and the questions she asked and all of those things. And after I watched that video, I thought to myself, this is the company that I want to switch to. This is who I want to be my telehealth provider. So as I said, based on Mindy's glowing recommendation, and I've seen some other creators mention Friday's Health, but no one really went through, I mean, perhaps they have videos earlier on in their channel that, you know, go through sort of why they picked Friday's Health, but like I said, I really identified with Mindy, and I really felt like she was, like I said, extremely genuine, and and everything she was saying on why she decided to partner with them, I realized it was ticking all of those boxes that I wanted in a telehealth provider. I would say these are not necessarily in any particular order, but I will say they probably get more important as I go through the list. So the first reason is they have, in my opinion, a very reasonable membership fee. Now, I personally don't have an issue paying a membership fee, especially given what I am getting for my membership. And I feel as though Fridays is probably, in my mind, after doing my research, does the best job of providing the most extensive and comprehensive program and support for their members. And so I feel like their membership fee, like I said, is very reasonable. Now, you will see that there are some telehealth companies that don't have a membership fee. However, generally, if you look at their medication prices for the compounding medication, it will be higher. So, you know, if you kind of do the math, it all sort of comes out in the wash. And I personally, like I said, these other components of what Friday's Health provides was very important to me. So I think, like I said, I think it's very reasonable, and I think it absolutely 100% makes it so that Friday's Health can provide the services that they provide. Next reason, and this wasn't necessarily something that was really important to me, but I think just in the general scheme of things, if you are looking at a telehealth provider, and I talked about this in my video last week of why you might want to consider a telehealth provider. It was not about Join Fridays, it was just about telehealth providers in general. But one of the big reasons is that Friday's Health is able to do both. So if you want name brand drugs, they can prescribe those for you and send those prescriptions off to your local pharmacy, and you can fill them without a problem there. Or if you're like me and my insurance doesn't cover name brand medications, I needed to go the compounding route. Fridays Health can do that as well. But what's really important about that is that if you are on the name brand and you are running into, like many people are, shortages, you can simply message customer support and basically on a dime switch from the name brand version to a compounded version. There are not many telehealth companies that have that capability, and so that, again, maybe not for me was a huge thing, but for a lot of people, that is really a vital requirement. Next reason is, just like their memberships, I find that their medication pricing is also very well priced. It is very competitive in the marketplace. Like I said, done a lot of the research. I know what I paid at the other place, and when I started breaking it down, for example, of what I was paying per, I guess, milligram, or per dose kind of thing, I was paying a lot more money than I needed to pay. So I feel like their prices, as I said, are very, very fair and competitive with the rest of the telehealth companies. Also important, again, perhaps not for me, but for anybody else that's listening to this, is that they can help you with your pre-authorizations. That's important to you and you want to be able to take name brand. You want somebody who is able to help you with that and facilitate those pre-authorizations and working with the insurance companies. But these last three things that I'm going to talk about are what was really important to me when it came to finding a new telehealth provider. And I sort of referred to these in that video last week as kind of a three-legged stool, right? If you think of a stool and it's got three legs, if you only have two legs, the stool falls over. And so to me, I think this is personally where Fridays Health is just way above the other telehealth providers and was probably what sealed the deal for me as to why I wanted to go with them. And it's something that Mindy talks about in her video as well. So again, like I said, check out her video in the description box. The first is that they have nutritional counseling. Now, you will find this with some other telehealth companies, but what I think is just incredible about Fridays Health is they have multiple weekly nutritional counseling calls where you will be on a Zoom call with the registered dietitian that they have on staff, and she will answer, anybody's questions, talk about, if you're having issues, things like that. But what is even more amazing is if they're talking about, I can't figure out how to get enough protein in or whatnot, is she almost immediately then says to the person, do me a favor, send me your last 3 days of, what you've eaten or whatever, and I will take a look at it and we'll figure out, where you can add more protein or whatever it is. And for example, with me, I mentioned this in the previous video, I was talking to her about how I was struggling to get enough calories in, and she asked me, okay, where are you in your journey? How much weight have you lost? Where are you wanting to go, etc. And when she heard that I was I was getting within 3-4 pounds of goal, she said to me immediately, send me an email and I will work with you on your maintenance plan. She's like, I realize you're not in maintenance right yet, but she said, you are so close. Like, I want to start preparing you and getting that plan in place, so for when you hit maintenance, you are ready to go. I just think that's incredible. And it's that going above and beyond that, again, I just think puts Fridays Health way above any of the other telehealth companies. The second leg of the stool, and I would say this is a pretty unique aspect of Fridays Health, is that they have mental health coaching. So again, they have multiple sessions during the week. And what I love that they have different times, different days. So, it might be on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern this week, but it's on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern the next week. So, even if one doesn't fit into your schedule, the next week it probably will. So I just really like that they kind of move things around, and they're actually adding quite a few more sessions into the week for all of these things that I'm talking about. So they do, like I said, mental health coaching. This is not going to be your one-on-one therapy kind of thing, right? If you have issues that need one-on-one therapy, that's something that you need to seek out either through your health insurance or whatever, but with a separate provider. But this is where you can really dig into some of those just things that you're dealing with on a daily or weekly basis as you're going through this journey. And what I think is incredible is that the doctor who runs these mental health coaching sessions is one of us. So she has lost 100, and if I got it right, if I wrote it down correctly, 194 pounds. She did that through a combination of bariatric surgery and GLP-1 medications. So she lives what we're living every day, just like we are. And to me, that there is so much value in that, right? Somebody who has the experience and knows exactly what you're going through, whether it is, you've got family members who think that this is absolutely ridiculous that you're on this medication, and they think, oh, this is cheating, and all you need to do is just push yourself away from the table and exercise more and eat less. Or, maybe you are having some body dysmorphia issues. You have lost weight and you still see yourself in this larger body, and you just haven't made that, transition in your mind yet. Again, all of these kind of things that are really pretty universal to a lot of us who are on this journey. It's such a great place. And even if you don't have a question that particular day, somebody else will bring up a situation, and more than likely you'll be able to identify with that and get value out of that person's question as much as if you asked your own question. So like I said, second leg of the stool, very few telehealth companies provide that. And I think, again, just keeps moving Friday's Health further and further up that ladder. And the final leg of the stool, again, is something that I found that very few, if perhaps none, of the other telehealth providers had, and that is movement. We all know that we need to move our body, right? And we all know that we need to do strength training, resistance training, because we need to not only maintain our muscle mass, but hopefully build some muscle mass as well. And so while, like I said, everybody kind of knows you need to move your body, and all of the other telehealth programs will say, don't forget, you need to move your body too. It's not just all about nutrition and your diet, but they don't address it, right? They just say, go move your body. And for a lot of people, that's not super helpful, right? I mean, yes, you can put on your walking shoes and go for a walk, but like I said, strength training, resistance training is so, so important during this journey. And Friday's Health has always had this as a component. So they've always had a movement coaching session that you can join. Again, it's a Zoom call and they go through different workouts, etc. But what is really exciting is a couple weeks ago, they introduced a partnership with what's called the Sesh app. And it is a free app to download. And if you are a Friday's Health member, you get access to a free 8-week strength training program that is 100% developed for those of us on a GLP-1 medication. And they have two different versions. So they have a home version and they have a gym version. So if you are somebody who, as I mentioned in my last video, who, you're not comfortable in the gym, or you're just not ready to make that jump, maybe you haven't exercised in years and you want to start, but again, like I said, you're not either comfortable going to the gym, or maybe you just don't have access to a gym, they have the home version, which is great. Or if you're like me and I do want to work out in the gym, they have the 8-week program for the gym. So you just follow along and do your workouts, and it's great. So it's 4 days, 4 workouts a week. Obviously, you don't have to do all 4 workouts in a 7-day period. You can extend that. I think I did my first week over kind of the first 10 days or so. But like I said, it's almost like having that personal trainer there right with you, telling you what to do, showing you proper movement and technique, telling you when you need to bump up your weights, etc., when you need to increase, so you can really work on that higher weight, working to fatigue of your muscles, which is really, really important in strength training. And like I said, I have just been super happy with the app, and I just think it is an amazing partnership that Fridays Health and Sesh has done for the benefit of the Fridays Health members. So for all of these reasons, I decided to join Fridays Health. And I went through the process, and I filled out the intake form, and I was in the process of scheduling my video call with a physician. And I got an email from Stina, who is one of the co-founders of Fridays Health. And now he didn't know me. When I filled out my intake form, it has my name, my personal name on it with my first name and my last name. And that information you can't get through this channel, right? I don't advertise that. He had absolutely no idea that I had applied and I was on my way to moving forward with them when he reached out to me. It was like just pure coincidence, or as they would say, it was kismet or something. It was, the universe was speaking to me, I guess, or speaking to him, I don't know. So anyway, so he reached out and we emailed back a few times. And I said that I would be, open to talking to him. So that night we jumped on a call, and I grilled Sina for almost an hour. I asked him if he could kind of give me the background of the company and the history and, how they started and how they've gotten to where they are now and all that. And he went through some of the different components of their program, etc. And then I had a list of, I think, like 8 to 10 questions or so. And let me just pull those up because they're here in my notebook, and I'll kind of go through some of them that I think I haven't already touched on yet. I talked about the pharmacies. I wanted to get confirmation that they used only 503 or 503B pharmacies, and that was talked about as well. And I asked him because, I knew that in the not so distant future, obviously this was a little while ago, so it was certainly more distant than it is now. I wanted to know, did they have a maintenance program? And they do. Again, not all telehealth companies have maintenance programs. One of the things that I felt was really important is that they do require labs. So either if you have had labs done within the last 12 months, you are able to upload those into the system. Otherwise, if you don't, they will give you lab orders that you can take to Quest Diagnostics, which is one of the biggest lab companies in the United States. And you can have those labs drawn that they need for $33, which is really inexpensive. So obviously you could put it through your insurance, and if your insurance covers it, then that's great. But if either you don't have insurance or you just don't want to necessarily bother, you can, like I said, pay $33 and have those labs done. But I think it's really, really important. There are so many telehealth companies that do not require labs. And this is a prescription medication. You need to work with a physician, and they need to really be able to see what is happening with your body. And one of the ways they can do that is with your blood work. So that to me was super important and was, another box that was ticked. I talked to him about customer service, right? Because if I was going to be, working with them in a partnership, I wanted to make sure that, any of my viewers or subscribers that were going to be potentially joining their program, that if there were issues, how they handle those customer service support kind of things, and they have dedicated staff for it. They're doing a great job with customer support. Then I asked in the very end, I asked Sina to tell me, okay, what differentiates you from the other telehealth companies? And by that, I didn't want to hear, oh, well, we do both kinds of medications and they don't, or whatever. I really wanted this, I wanted to hear more of a philosophical, I guess. And I really, really liked Sina's answer. And that was two things. One is that they look at their program and their members from a holistic approach. And I think you really see that in sort of that three-legged stool that I talked about, right? It's not just about prescribing you a medicine and then sending you off on your merry way. No, they want you to get nutritional counseling. They want you to have mental health counseling and coaching. And they want you to have movement and be able to tell you and work with you on how to do that, okay? That's that, like I said, holistic approach. But the other thing he said is that their philosophy is patience before dollars, before money. And that, like I said, speaks volumes to me. The fact that they care so much about their patients. Like I said, you see it in the doctors, you see it in the people that do the coaching sessions, the fact that they are willing to work one-on-one with you, the fact that they take these questions and help you through these situations. Again, they really care about their patients. I truly feel like you are not just a number to Fridays Health. You are a member and you are a person who has lots of facets to them, and their program deals with those facets. So while I started my, I guess, sort of journey with Fridays Health because of my research and watching Mindys videos, and was basically in the process of joining, I then decided to become an advocate for Fridays Health because of all of these other things. And I cannot tell you how happy I am that I have made the switch that I did. I think this was 100% the best decision for me. And I am not talking about that from being an advocate. This has absolutely nothing to do with that. Because again, when I'm on these coaching calls, when I was on the call with the dietitian, for example, she had no idea who I was. She doesn't know that I've now become an advocate for Fridays Health. No, she just knows that I am a member who is struggling to get their calories in and is getting close to maintenance, and she wants to help me. She wants to help me, the patient, the member, be successful in the long term. Like I said, she has no clue who I am. So it has nothing to do with that. So I am, like I said, absolutely thrilled that I chose Fridays Health. I could not possibly think of a better telehealth company to join in order to facilitate my health and my future well-being. The advocacy part, it honestly is just icing on the cake. It's great, and I'm thrilled that I can, provide you guys a discount code on your membership for your first month, and that I can speak to how amazing I think that this company is. But frankly, I would speak about how amazing this company is to you regardless of whether or not I am an advocate. So, please, you don't need to feel compelled to use my code. If you do, like I said, that's great. I appreciate it. Does help support this channel. If you are looking for a telehealth company, I would highly, highly recommend that you do your research yourself, but really take a serious look at Fridays Health, because like I said, based on my research, and I did a lot, I did many hours combing through and watching other people's videos on their telehealth providers and what they do and what they don't do. And like I said, I couldn't ask for a better telehealth provider. So if you're interested, like I said, you can save $20 on your first month with Fridays Health. Just use the code Lisa when you check out. There will be a link in the description box that you can click on that will take you to Fridays Health, and you can fill out all of your information. And then, like I said, when you get to the checkout process, just put Lisa in the discount code part and you will save $20. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful to some of you. I know I've had a lot of questions as to who I was using, and I mentioned the fact that I was in the process of changing and that I wanted to be able to have enough time and enough experience with the telehealth provider that I was switching to in order to give you an accurate and meaningful review. And so I have had that time, and that's why I'm now making this video. So like I said, hopefully it was helpful to you. I am not a doctor. I do not give medical advice, but if I can help you out in any way, I am certainly more than happy to do so. If you enjoyed the video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. It does help the YouTube algorithm, and we are almost to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you enjoy the content, please click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload videos. If you haven't had enough of me yet, there'll be another video over here for you to watch. And remember, kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.